On today's show, we're in for a big workout. We have two tough contestants ready to powerfully pound and strongly stretch. Pound T-posts and stretch fence wire, that is. It's a contest of muscle, smarts, and stamina, and we will make you break a sweat just watching. Who will prevail and who will fail in this post and wire power match? Don't try to fence these two fellas in on this episode of Tough Grit.
Shannon, I'm reluctant to even ask, but what in the world is going on out here?
Caleb, you're here early. I wanted to surprise you.
Mission accomplished. What are you doing?
Well, today's episode's all about driving fence posts, right?
Sure.
Well, I wanted to impress you with my fence driving skills by driving all of these fence posts myself using just my sheer strength and my mighty hammer.
You don't expect me to believe that you did all this with that puny hammer?
No, this fence was already here and this post just looked a little loose.
Have you ever driven a fence post before?
No, but I did drive my 4-H leader into an early retirement.
I'll bet you did. Well, you're in luck, because today's episode is all about fencing, so maybe you should just sit back, watch, and learn.
All right, but if anybody wants to use my mighty hammer, they need to wear protective gear. I don't want anyone getting hurt by this bad boy.
I don't think anybody's going to get hurt with that puny thing.
All right, you're the boss.
Oh! Maybe you have a pasture that would be great for grazing, but you need to get it fenced in. Or you're thinking about going electric, but you're not sure of your needs.
Or maybe you'd like to trade in your old barbed wire for a fence that has fewer posts to maintain.
When it comes to fencing, at some point we've all found ourselves in a big pile of tough grit. And that's where we come in. I'm Caleb Regan.
And I'm Shannon Riley.
And today we're talking fencing, and we're going to give you the right tools, techniques, and knowledge to get your fencing projects done, and done right the first time.
And we've got a couple of rural neighbors here, ready to take part in our fence building project. Let's meet them.
Our first contestant is David Bentz from Omaha, Nebraska. David lives in an urban area and has 5 raised garden beds in the backyard which use an automatic gravity feed watering system.
I really love Dave's attitude. It reminds me of a dairy farm. No bull.
And our second contestant from Burlingame, Kansas is Travis Hill. Travis farms using draft horses and works cattle at a sale barn. Aside from that, he likes playing music and spending time with his grandkids.
Travis must be a big fan of our show. He asked for my autograph the minute he arrived. I just don't know why he wanted it on a blank check.
Welcome, gentlemen, to Tough Grit.
Now it's time to find out what your project is. Are your hearts pounding? Well, I don't want to string you along. Your Tough Grit challenge today is pounding T-posts and stringing fence wire.
Your first challenge will be to drive a row of T-posts the fastest using both a hand driver and a pneumatic post driver. And your second challenge today will be stretching barbed wire and securing it to T-posts.
That sounds pretty grueling, but I'm already getting wired for that competition. Even if this project doesn't fit you to a T or a T-post, we have a couple of experts here ready to help you with these challenges.
Our first expert is the editor-in-chief of Grit Magazine, the always affable Hank Will.
Hank is excited about today's show. He loves a good challenge, like basic math or tying his own shoes.
And from Chatsworth, Georgia, here's their helpful tractor supply store manager, Cassie Walraven.
Cassie came all the way from Georgia, and she didn't bring me one peach. That's it. I might just have to root for Hank this time.
These experts will give you some great advice as you tackle our gritty challenges today. And they'll help you keep tabs on our 3 criteria of efficiency, accuracy, and safety.
Whoever can succeed at these challenges and sticking to our criteria will go home with up to a $1,000 gift card from Tractor Supply Company.
You'll also be using some great tools and products today, like a Stryker pneumatic post driver, an Ingersoll Rand compressor, a spinning jenny, T-posts, and barbed wire.
We're almost ready to jump into our first project, but let's get some more info from our experts on what to expect from challenge number 1.
Dave, steel T-posts come in several different lengths. It's a really versatile and relatively inexpensive option for fencing. You can use it as a line post with barbed wire, smooth wire, high tensile wire even. You can also use it with woven wire and in fact welded wire. You can also use it kind of in a corral setting as a support for welded cattle panels or hog panels.
Travis, T-posts aren't as portable as fiberglass or as strong as wood, but they offer a good alternative whenever you need something that's durable and easy to install. The good thing about them is they're lightweight and you don't have to dig a hole.
Dave, T-posts are really easy to install virtually anywhere with a hand pounder. Basically, you set the post upright, install the pounder on it, and hammer it home. Pound it in just like a steak.
They even make these pneumatic post drivers that help you plant the post easily.
But what if it goes in crooked?
If it goes in crooked, you just take both hands, straighten it out, and keep going.
Dave, T-posts work with electric fence also, but you need to install some plastic insulators on the post to actually keep the fence from shorting out. And you do it this way. Just clip them on, insert the wire, clip it in, it's good to go.
With high tensile fence or barbed wire, you want to drive your post with the contours of the ground. This way, you don't have any gaps at the bottom of your fence or the wire isn't touching the ground.
Okay.
So how do we get started?
Well, the first thing you got to do is, you need to sort of walk your fence line. You need to know exactly where you want to install things. You want to be sure that there's nothing under that line that you could damage, like cables or whatnot. You need to install stout brace systems at each end, and then you need to run a piece of wire taut to mark the line between the two braces, pace off the distances for your posts, set the posts, and hang the wire.
And now it's time for the first challenge. Our two contestants will be driving 15 T-posts. They'll drive the first 5 by hand and then 10 with the pneumatic drivers. But they must drive them straight or we'll make them go back and reset them. First one done wins.
First part of this project is all about muscle, sweat, perseverance, and real tough grittiness. Yes, I just made that word up.
So they need to be thinking about working quickly, but if they're not setting them straight, it'll cost them precious time.
Coaches can give them advice as well as help them sight, but they can't do any of the driving or adjusting themselves. Good luck to you both.
Ready, set, go!
Go, 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 go.
And they're off. Here we go. It's like Team Tractor Supply has reached their T-posts first.
First one's set. Just kissing it. Twist it a little bit. Yeah, there you go.
Make sure it's going in straight.
One more. Good.
Dave's on his second post.
Just a couple more.
Travis really struggling with that first post. Now he's got it. On to the second.
Put it in down as well.
Here's our last one.
Dave on his last post, he's doing by hand.
Who will strike their fence post first and who will just strike out? Find out when we return to Tough Grit right after this.
Good fences surely make good neighbors, and they make even the most experienced folks into better animal husbands. But what makes a good fence, you might wonder? Fences carry out their barrier mission in two fundamental ways: physical and psychological. The 12-foot tall stone wall in good repair will keep most animals in or out, no matter how much they rub, scratch, or try to climb it. It's a formidable physical barrier. Conversely, the fence created with a single strand of lightweight polywire conductor offers little in the way of a physical barrier, but when that conductor is appropriately energized with electrical pulses, it will serve as a great psychological barrier once the animals have been shocked by it. With few exceptions, the most effective fence designs integrate both physical and psychological components. Spend a little time learning about the animals you wish to fence in or out, and you just might become a good neighbor yourself.
We're in the final moments of our T-post pounding challenge, and our two contestants are really pushing themselves to the limit.
They are really pouring on the power and pouring out the sweat. Hey, do we provide a towel service?
Oh, that's 5.
I guess you could say our contestants are the designated drivers today. This reminds me, I wonder if we have any more pound cake at home.
Keep going, yeah. There must be a rock or something maybe. Now just work that black handle and don't put quite as much of you in it. Just take it slow.
There you go, that's good. It's in.
Almost there.
Woohoo! That one dropped in smooth.
One more. One more. Okay.
Good job, you're doing good. Take your time on this one, get it straight, because they've still got a whole nother one to go.
Make sure that one by the stump, they need to pound that down because it's like that.
Oh, okay. Okay, we got one more to drive in. You're doing good.
You're close. Yep, okay.
All right, good.
Travis got stumped a bit by the stump.
Travis having to go back and drive one in a little further. Dave's finishing his last post.
Good. Good.
All right, good job.
Good job, man.
All right,
Good
job, everybody. Come on in. That was a close competition, but I think we got a winner, eh, Caleb?
Yeah, good job by both teams. I think we ended up with 30 T-posts that'll serve this fence well. Travis, despite having to go back and pound your last post a little further into the ground, you just finished a little quicker. Won yourself a $500 gift card to Tractor Supply Company.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Travis.
Thank you.
You're our post-pounding pro. What do you owe your success to?
A lot of years of practice and fine coach.
All right, excellent. Well, don't go posting that win yet. We've got a second challenge coming. And don't you go away either. There's more high excitement with high tension barbed wire challenge coming up right after this break.
Welcome back, folks. We're doing a fencing project today focusing on T-posts, high tensile, and barbed wire. Let's go to our experts, Hank and Cassie, who are going to give us the ins and outs of wiring fences with our contestants.
High tensile fence is made to be more elastic, but it can withstand a greater amount of tension than regular barbed wire, usually about 200 to 250 pounds. This means that the fence can use fewer posts, but you're going to need stronger braces.
Dave, high tensile fence can also be electrified, which will give you more resistance to livestock pressure. If you do that, you want to make sure that the fence itself is insulated from the brace structure. Even if it's not electrified, high tensile fence can withstand about 1,000 pounds of animal pressure, at least intermittently, and it's often less expensive to install than a comparable barbed wire fence.
So do we use the line posts on the high tensile steel like we do with the barbed wire?
We do still use line posts. You just don't have to put them as close together with the high tensile as you do with the barbed wire. You can put them anywhere from 30 feet to 90 feet apart, depending on what kind of livestock pressure you have. Just remember, your line posts are just there as a guide to your wire. The strength comes from your braces.
Are T-posts actually strong enough for a high tensile fence?
That's a great question, Dave, and the answer is yes. But if you're worried about it, you can replace some of the T-posts with wooden posts along the line, or you could actually space them a little bit closer together if you want. Now, you want to be sure that if you're actually electrifying that fence, that high tensile fence, that you attach the wire to the T-post using a high tensile grade insulator, not a standard grade insulator. The high tensile fence will cut through those insulators in a heartbeat.
A good tool to have is a spinning jenny. You can use this to spool your wire with keeping it from getting tangled. If you have a long run to do, it's easier to install it behind a UTV or a pickup. Once you have the wire installed, you're going to use your tension spring and your strainer to pull the wire tight.
So Dave, when you want to tighten a high tensile fence, you install what's called a wire strainer, this ratchet looking device, along with a spring in the line of the wire. And you take up the slack simply by cranking it in. And you can use the spring as a gauge to understand roughly how tight it is, or if you're trying to get all your strands at the same tightness, be sure the spring is extending the same amount.
Well, it looks like our teams have braced themselves and they're ready to tackle challenge number 2.
That's right. For this challenge, our two contestants will be stretching 5 strands of barbed wire and attaching it to T-posts. This is a 2-person job, so experts will be allowed to assist in every aspect of this challenge.
Whoever successfully installs their strands first wins, but they have to be installed with a proper tension and with safety in mind.
That's right. If the work is sloppy, we'll make you go back and redo it. Good luck, teams.
Ready, set, go!
A little different strategy here.
All right, go Dave, go.
Good, 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 good.
These boys are on fire with their wire.
Cassie's dumping out the clips next to the T-posts.
That's the first snip.
Travis is getting that top strand secured to the post.
We're just gonna twist it off.
Travis having a little trouble with that coming along.
Get a little tension.
This is one time when you want a little tension in your life.
Other way, other way.
Oh, there it goes.
Yeah.
There it goes.
Runaway wire.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it?
Yep.
It's time for our break, but don't go away. When we come back, we're going to have our wire wrangling winner and our loose line loser right here on Tough Grit.
A popular question from people building fence is, should I use high tensile or barbed wire? The answer is, it depends. High tensile fence is much easier and quicker to install over long runs than barbed wire. You can stretch longer sections at a time with fewer brace posts. High tensile can be installed hand tight from brace to brace because a permanent tension spring and wire strainer is installed at each run of wire, making tightening as easy as turning a wrench. The higher tension and flexibility of high tensile over long runs allows it to resist more livestock pressure longer than barbed wire. Also, high tensile can be electrified, which is a great low-cost way to beef up your fence. Barbed wire, on the other hand, is awesome for a couple of reasons. On shorter runs, the double-stranded barbed wire can be better at resisting pressure than non-electrified high tensile. The longer your fence is, though, the more barbed wire is going to cost you. Over a given distance, barbed wire requires 2 to 3 times as many line posts as high tensile, and it doesn't need special strainers or tensioners. Either a normal fence stretcher or a pair of pliers, and you're good to go.
We're in the thick of our barbed wire stretching challenge, and both Team Grit and Team Tractor Supply are really hustling.
We should have a party after this challenge. Can you have a post party for a post challenge?
Team Grit worked on running their second strand. It's got to go between the top two. Yep, between the top two, and then it's every 5.
No, from that clip. This one here. Got it?
That's good.
All right, you got this. I'm gonna go finish clipping.
Team Tractor Supply cinching up that second strand. Pretty even right now. Both teams stretching their third stretch of wire. Some good teamwork on the part of TSC there.
Got it?
1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, I'm gonna clip.
Ah, shoot. Under that wire. Shoot.
Looks like either the barbed wire snapped or it came loose from the secured end. Team Grit dealing with a minor setback. Had that barbed wire third strand snap on him. Hank's working on tying that all up together.
That's a tough break for a Team Grit. So far, they've successfully put together a fence that would keep a tall horse in, but not a short horse. Hank did a snap job on repairing that wire. That's impressive.
Here comes Travis ready to string his last strand of barbed wire.
Doom, 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 doom. Little roll under the fence there. It's like watching Mission Impossible with Hank Will.
Coming behind her.
Team Grit's running their last strand of barbed wire. Team Tractor Supply already has theirs run. They got an awful lot of clips to put on. So it'll come down to who can put their clips on the fastest.
Boy, this is a race that's going to come down to the wire.
One more.
You got them all the way to the end? All right, we're done.
All right, that's
Good
it.
job, everybody. That was a good competition. Very, very close. Well, Caleb, what's the verdict?
That was a great job by both teams. I think our fence looks great. Despite having to repair a busted strand of barbed wire, Dave, you guys just finished in a little quicker time. I mean, by a hair. So you just won a $500 gift card to Tractor Supply Company. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Dave. What do you owe your success to?
Well, I owe it to Hank here. He repaired the broken strand, and we got right back on track again.
Well, great job. But Travis, you're not going to be left out. You won the first competition, so you get a $500 gift card from Tractor Supply Company. What are you going to get with your winnings?
Probably a warmer coat.
All right, that's a great idea. And if you're sitting home right now thinking, I've got the brains and the brawn to compete on Tough Grit, here's how you can take part in the Rule America Challenge.
To sign up, go to toughgrit.com and click on the I Can Do That button, or look for the advertisement in Grit Magazine. Don't wait, sign up today. So now you know almost everything you need to know about pounding T-posts and stringing wire. And if you'd like to learn more, visit toughgrit.com. I'm glad you could be with us today. I look forward to seeing you next time. So Shannon, it looks like nobody used that mighty hammer.
Yeah, I know. But that's all right. I do have one really good use for it.
What's that?
It can cure the hiccups.
How's that thing going to cure the hiccups?
Well, I'm going to take it home, I'm going to go to my living room, and I'm going to hang up this picture of Hank. One look at that mug, and you'll never have the hiccups again. I'm Shannon Riley.
I'm Caleb Regan.
And when you see us coming, you know you're in Tough Grit.